What's cracking lacking, peoples? We are in the building. Let me make a couple of adjustments over here, and then we can pop off. Yo, let's do this. Um, mm, 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 There it is. There it is. It's live. It's popping. What's going on, gang? What's happening in your world today? Today's going to be a little bit more relaxed than normal. We're just going to talk about some things, see what's on your head. We got questions. If you got questions, let them pop. Let's do something different today. Let me do one of these. Bam. Anybody that wants to pop in, you can pop in. Crisscross applesauce. Let's get it. We'll make it happen. We're just gonna do some quick catching up, talk a little bit of stories, tell you what's going on in the world today. Man, it's been a crazy week. It's been super busy, and that's just amazing. What's up, Matthew? Good to see you here. Appreciate you. Let me put this over here. Make a little space for it. So, like that. Man, we've been hammering away over in the work environment for new release about to drop. Been doing some crazy things in that arena as far as that goes. Coming up with some just sauciness. Let me see why this is not catching. Let me fix this real quick. There it is. Boom. Coming in with some sauce. Yo, why did you go to camera C? Ain't nobody told you to do that. Anyway, been messing around with the ISO stuff that's happening in Ecamm, and I gotta tell you, this is gonna be a huge game changer. So let me show you this real quick. It's in upside down mode at the moment, but we can fix that real quick. Come in and rotate. So when I'm shooting like Amazon Live oriented content, I can just come in here, rock the little old pan and scan, get it to about like right there, and it's pulling in ISO. So that means I can shoot talking with this camera and then showing the overhead with this camera, showing the items. And like if I'm bringing this in here, like I can show you the items and show you how they work. And it comes up basically as two different tracks. So then when you go inside Ecamm and go and edit them, you can just pull out the two tracks, and it's all day amazing. It's like super amazing. So that's been a lot of fun. Let's see, what are you guys talking about in there? There you go. Yes, Liz. Hey, what to do, Andrew? Thank you. Good to see you guys here. Everybody's coming in after our mastering interviews class this morning. Today's class was great. It's kind of fun to be teaching this and sharing stuff and watching people put it into practice right away, right? One of the things that we're doing in the class is we are doing some mock interviews. And well, I guess it's not really mock, because anytime you're interviewing someone and you're getting information from them that you didn't know about them a second ago, you're learning something. So it's not really a mock interview. I guess mock would be a bad way to put it. But we're doing interviews and we're having a good time doing that. And so it's kind of fun. I'm learning a lot from them as much as I'm teaching the class. And I always get a kick out of watching the way that people learn. Because as a teacher, I think one of the things that we don't spend enough time studying up on is studying how people learn. And if you do a better job of studying how people learn, you'll do a better job at teaching. If you teach from the standpoint of, I guess expert is probably the best way to put it. If you teach from an expert position, then you're not setting yourself up to learn at the same time, and you'll probably miss out on some things. So, just wanted to talk about that. Let's see. Yeah, this all of the class is sliding in right now, including Todd. Todd was there too. Appreciate you, Todd. It was good. It was good input today. I had one of those mats purposely for companies with logos on it. There you go. Amazon influence is great. I've only done the shop videos. Uh, yes, so that's exactly what I'm doing it for, Matt. Is I'm doing it for the shop videos, right? I did some lives yesterday testing out. Um, bro, Ecamm 4.0 supports Amazon comments, and yesterday I was able to pull off some lives and do it with comments. Thanks to Paul and Dina who came and helped me figure out what I did wrong. And but yeah, I did like 2 Amazon lives this week messing around, but the shop videos is where it's at. And so let me pull this up real quick to show you guys what Matthew is on about. Eeny, meeny, catch a meeny. Where is that? There it is, right here. Boom. Um, yeah, this is so cool. Let's see. How am I doing with my shop videos? These are only 3 that I put up so far, but we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Let's rock that. There it is. So this is my first 3 shop videos that I put up, and I mean they're slowly getting there. But what's crazy is, I man, when I posted these to get these approved, I swear to you, it took almost 3.5 months to finally get approved. It was a pain in the butt. I know everybody was getting it done in like no time, but it took me like 3.5 months because I set it in the beginning of November. And of course, they were already well on their mission to, signing up for Christmas and getting ready for Christmas and being on, gone for the holidays or whatever. And so that kind of was a pain in the butt because I was sitting around waiting for the approval to come in, and it was a little painful. It was a tad bit painful, but as I sat there and waited, one day, like 2 weeks ago, I just got a little thing, and it was like, "All right, you're in," and I was like, "All right, bet I'm in." Boom, It's midnight oil, so to speak. What a better way to do it than to be here with y'all. Thank you, I appreciate it. Oh, it took you 4.5 weeks too? All right, cool. So it wasn't just me. When everybody was doing it in the beginning, it was happening quick, but I kept putting it off. So finally I decided to dive in and go forth and be merry. And bro, it's been glorious. It's been a lot of fun. So I'm learning a lot as I'm playing with that and trying to figure out all myriad things. Um, mm, I wonder what that is, Paul. That happened yesterday too, and it's the Rodecaster Pro, but that means something might have moved in the walls that's causing an interference. Hmm. I did move cable, but it's my headphone cable. I wonder if that's causing a problem. Anyway, yeah, super curious. Yeah, so if you guys hear the cracking, let me know. Paul said he's hearing the cracking. I restarted the Rodecaster Pro and it helped yesterday, but who knows if it's doing it again. Let's see what Victor is saying. Says, I noticed I found that they were connecting their RCP to an A10 Mini. Yeah, the A10 Mini might have parts in it that are unshielded, and so when you have devices next to it that are unshielded, unshielded devices can cause your other devices to click and make noise. Um, you know, that's probably the primary reason is you're getting a noise from something that's unshielded. Now, what's really weird is I don't hear it in my headphones, so I don't think that's the particular case. It's probably just the Rodecaster Pro is tripping, in which case I can go to my other mic real quick and restart the Rodecaster Pro and call it a day. Or, play a video and then go to the restart the Rodecaster Pro. 9 times out of 10, I found that in the Rodecaster Pro 2 anyway, when it restarts, it normally takes care of it. Yeah. So that interference couldn't have been coming from just God knows anything. And that's one thing that sucks. Depending on where you live, how your interference is normally caused by radio towers, or sometimes you have a neighbor that has some weird like CB action popping off. All of those things can cause, these rogue interferences. So kind of a trip ski there. Yeah, just like Windows PC, just reboot. Um, Oh, back during Christmas, I told you guys that these bad boys went on sale for like $49. So I had a friend of mine who lived closer to the Costco than I, so he was able to pick them up. So I'll find a place for them, but I will be Paul Duncan very soon. They'll probably go back there in the corner somewhere. Or maybe I'll put them on the door, which would be really weird because nobody sticks them on the door. Yo, he said, hey, there it is. Jim was the one who told me about him, and then I had somebody pick it up for me. Watching the stream from the ramen bar. Boom. There you go. So, Matt, that's a good thing. Let me bring this up because Matt was talking yesterday, and it's pretty good commentary on the future. It was funny because he asked ChatGPT to talk about Apple in the future, and I find it funny because, yeah, ChatGPT stopped scrubbing the web in 2021, so it's kind of hard for it to do things that are forward thinking. However, somebody just made a plugin that I just added to mine, and it says search the web. So there's a plugin you can put in that when you come to Chat GPT, it will throw a search the web situation on here. And with search the web, it can actually go through the Google results to pull up information. And so you can tell it to pull up the first 3, 5, up to 10 results in order to come up with the information. That sort of helps you get some of the more current information that's out there. But it's funny because Matt, what we were talking about yesterday, this is something we struggle with even as ECAM. And I think it's hard because I kind of get where users think about the app from the perspective that they use the app. Users don't often think about the app from the perspective of the other people that also use the app. So, for instance, in the pro space, and this is funny because see, the pro space grew. This is an interesting conversation. The pro space grew. When I first got into like filming video, the pro space was just us guys that had 3 CCD cameras. We used to call them 3-chip cameras. We had the guys that had 3 CCD cameras, and you were recording either in Digibeta or Beta SP, or I recorded in D2. And then the digital cameras came into the party. The minute that digital cameras came into the party, it meant that the field got opened up to all myriad of people. And there was this gatekeeping conversation around the word pro, right? So, for instance, there's photographers that would try to tell you that the wedding video photographers is somehow less of a pro than the photojournalists. And I guess I understand that because there's a lot of wedding video photographers who do just go and buy all the equipment that the photojournalists wish they could buy, but they don't get paid enough for that. But the wedding video guy is just some dude, some girl looking to do something, come from a family that can support them. They're able to get all the fancy gear and don't respect the craft enough to learn how to shoot. They just go immediately to selling photo packages and start competing against someone who spent years learning the craft. And the minute that happened, and it started with the wedding video people, and then it turned into the skateboard kids, and then it turned into the action sports kids, and then it turned into documentary kids. In the past, general people weren't going to go and buy a camera. But the minute the cameras dropped under 10 grand, anybody could buy one. And at that time, Sony had a camera called the PD-150 and Canon had a camera called the GL1, GL2. I forget which is which, and I sold them shits. That opened it up so that anybody that had $5,000 could buy a camera. And then Magic Lantern gave the 30D, 40D, 5D. Magic Lantern gave the 5D Mark II the ability to shoot. So that basically meant it got moved down to 2500. And because what was required for content, since a lot of this was moving to the web, was no longer as expensive. Thank you, Camera Junkie. I knew you'd be there. 5D Mark II. That's the one. The minute the Mark II made it so that basically at that point, anybody could basically shoot video and go. And then a company called Flip came out with a little teeny camera like this that started the whole vertical video crap. It kind of put, let's see, it kind of opened the door up for people to be a different type of pro. So what happens, people that come from Matt's world and my world, when we say pro, we're talking about professionals that are producing broadcast quality shows. And so for that, we're talking about multiple users. We're talking about, SAN, editing off of a SAN. We're talking about, color correction and proper lighting and, almost all of the light gear says Marshall. All of the rigging gear rather says Marshall. We're talking people that know what gaffer's tape is. We're talking that people that know what a 4x4 is or what a 10K is or a 1K or HMI lighting, things like that, right? And that's not what pro means anymore. Now pro means anybody that's getting paid to shoot something. And so when Final Cut Pro comes out and they take out something that Hollywood was looking for, people lost their mind because they're like, well, it doesn't do this, but Avid does this. Avid was never made, well, they tried, but it didn't work. Avid never really made a consumer product. Final Cut started in the consumer, prosumer, or pro. Pick your lane. And so the argument has always been that people that want to use the FCP stuff the regular way, Final Cut's catering to you guys and not the pros. And I hate to tell you this, Final Cut people that come from Matt and my world, there's kids on the internet that make 10x your salary that don't even know the shortcut keys that edit in Final Cut Pro. Because they didn't go to Zemeckis school, does that make them not a pro? They earn 10x your salary dancing on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and Shorts. Jimmy earns 100 extra salary. Logan earns 100 extra salary. Are they not pros? They didn't go to Zemeckis. They didn't go to film school like Matt. They didn't dump all of that money into film school. But do they count as not pro? See that and that's the thing. See, video pros started gatekeeping. And so when Final Cut makes it easier for Gretchen to edit, that doesn't take away from it's not a pro thing. Like, you don't have to, want to be a editor for Columbia Pictures anymore to make a living. And I think what happens is when Final Cut started catering to the other pros, then the people from our side of the industry, they started talking a lot of spicy and they start ignoring what is really a good app, right? The app is amazing. But also, to loop back to what I was talking about from an Ecamm perspective, we get requests all the time of things that should be in the app because, people that don't develop always got these shoulds. And we have to make executive decisions as to what to actually go after and what to not go after because the app doesn't need that when it can easily be handled by a third-party app. Yes, I do get it would be simpler if the app just did it. Yes, you wouldn't have to add another thing. Yes, whatever. But anybody here, I bring this up all the time. Anybody here has anybody here has an SUV? I'm curious. Matt says, I shot and edited flip spots with the kids, so you think you can dance to her. And then, yes, when the iPhone came out, flip was done. Yes. Uh, Avid wasn't complicated to us. Like, I learned in Avid, but I really like Happy Birthday, Rob. I really like FCP. Um, yeah, that's why Hollywood hates FCP and loves Abbott. I got news for Hollywood. Their numbers are done. I mean, more and more and more and more people are watching the disambiguated media community than are watching the real Hollywood stuff too. So even more so, it's funny. Um, uh, Parts of 24 TV film were filmed on 5D Mark II. Yes, 100% true. Okay, so here's my SUV people. This is the Doc Rock story on SUV, and hate me for it if you want. I kind of never want another one for as long as I shall live. When they got to the level of popularity to where everybody was buying one, they became like $60,000. And I mean real SUVs. I don't mean, what was that thing we had, Mr. Camera Junkie, a Santa Fe? No, that's a SAV, sports activity vehicle. SUV means like Bronco, Suburban, Escalade, like, grown up SUV. What was amazing to me about the SUV when I had one is that when I needed to carry something like the pickup truck it was supposed to replace, it's too small. When you needed to park that son of a bitch and all that's left is compact parts, it's too big. So the SUV was supposed to be dope because it was this hybrid between a car and a truck. And there came a point where they hit like 60, 70, $80,000 where buying an SUV, you might as well buy a small car for getting around quickly and a pickup truck. And you would save 20 grand. And you can get two actual vehicles that can actually do what the hell they need to do, right? Unless you got a family of 10, you know, you didn't. SUVs are freaking stupid. I said it, and I'm sorry for everybody that got one because I know you've had this moment at some point in time. You went to go to the airport and put a bunch of stuff in it, and it can't fit. But if you had a pickup, it would have fit. Or you went to the Home Depot to get a 4x8 sheet, and it can't fit. You know what? A 4x8 sheet fits perfectly in the back of a Tacoma. They even have little places to put 2x4s so that you can just slide one in, right? Matt has a pickup, so I know Broccoli Man over here understands what I'm saying. And so to me, this is the problem that you run into if you try to make the app do everything. If your market, this is all of us in general, if your audience is everybody, your audience is nobody. If you're trying to appease every single person, your audience is nobody. If Apple listened to Matt and the other people and followed the trend that they're following, the app won't work. And people's like, well, how do you know that? Because Premiere doesn't work. People fight through Premiere, and the reason why it's crashing is because it's trying to do everything. But if it would calm the F down and did what it was really good at, it wouldn't crash as much. So adding all these extra features makes the app become so big that it becomes performance issue problems. And then it also becomes a problem for that one thing you need to do once in the edit that could be handled by a third-party app. If you just rolled it in, you're just going to mess with stability. Cutting, copying, pasting, transitioning, audio leveling, color correcting, that stuff you do all the time. That has to be there. Those are the primaries. Get in the vehicle, turn the key, engine, tires, brakes, that has to be there, right? Glass for the front window, back window, all that all has to be there. Vibrating seats, park by itself. What are some of the other things? Auto, like snow detecting lights that turn on, tires that turn on the traction automatically. All that stuff don't got to be there. And anybody that has ever had a complicated, like really sophisticated car, you notice how much more expensive they are to maintain? But this 12-year-old freaking 2010 Tacoma that has an engine, an air conditioning, brakes, tires, and glass, Yo, that shit runs flawlessly. Why? Because it don't have all of that crazy stuff. So in a way, asking for all of these unnecessary accoutrements, which you might use twice a year, is asking your vehicle to be more of a POS. And that's why muscle cars, there's like 18 different shows right now I'm competing against on TV that showing these, 40-year-old muscle cars that are flawless because they didn't do nothing. They ran. That's all they did. So that's what you got to be careful of in wanting your favorite app to basically massage your butt while it does color correction. I think the coolest thing was being able to do our own homes and go far less than what the big broadcast companies do. 100%. 100%. Boom, boom, boom. What's up, player? What's up, player? Yep, Tina's in the, she got one. Yeah, dude, that's Santa Fe, boo. Yo, that joint, me and Louise put miles in that bad boy. Minivan makes smarter sense. And you know what people did? They got SUVs because they thought having the minivan turned you into a soccer mom. So the minivan makes more sense, right? Now, a Sequoia, that's a big mofo. My sister had one. I think you can fit a 4x8 sheet in the back of a Sequoia. Yes, CUV, city utility vehicle, 100%. Right? That's the thing. Boom. Exactly. See, matters know what I'm talking about, right? When you break it down and you go back to, F-150, which is an American Tacoma. Actually, it's a little bit more Tundra. It's a better play. Like, it just makes more sense. And so you got to be careful of wanting everything to do everything, right? Stepping in, see, you could do that with a pickup truck. Trust me, girl, the pickup truck is better. My sister got rid of her SUV and she bought a Tundra. And my sister, I just think it's the coolest thing when she climbed her butt out of that Tundra. And then we were out somewhere and people was like, "Oh, is this your husband's car?" And she was like, "Nah, this is my truck." And I was like, "Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a big, beautiful thing." Yes. And yeah, she got them bad knees too. You know what? Shut up, Rob. Ain't nobody talking to you. uh, yeah, there you go. All right. Good question, Matt. Good question. It is a Insta 360 link, but it changes every week, so don't get it twisted. It's an Insta 360 link now because this has been up there. This has been up there the whole time, but I took it down yesterday in order to do some Amazon Live type stuff because I wanted to show this to Dina, right? Because when she's filming her garden tricks, this would be a good setup for her to wear this on her neck and then shoot shoot gardening stuff. But then I forgot that women have camera blockers that we don't have, so I don't know if that's going to work or not. But anyway, that's why I'm using an Insta 360 link right now as the overhead. Boom, there it is. So I made it so that like when I take this out of the way, like you can just get in there and Amazon to death. It's doing something funny right now, and it might have been because I was playing around and I might have forgot to switch this sucker back to 4K. Let me see. Yes, I did. I stuck it at 1080 because it looks way better when I just record it in 4K. I was messing around. I forgot to switch it back. You know what, lady? Let me have some conversations with you about my taco. This is the point of the program with you guys are the best. You guys are the best. I think you're right. There's a little room to move closer towards what the film and TV cast needs. It's funny. I guarantee there's 100% a little bit of room, but I'm telling you, there's people that are doing the market research because you're a fruit farmer, dude. You know the farm. We don't make decisions without some heavy research. They don't do any knee-jerk reactions. So they've done the market research that's not YouTubers and not the film and video community and said that, yes, if we did, okay, I'm going to give you numbers. We'll use actual numbers. let's in supposition say if we gave the film and TV cast exactly what they need, every IATSE unionized film and TV cat in the United States of America breaks 100,000, maybe. I'm being generous than a mug. If every IATSE cat out there, let's triple it. Let's make it 300,000. Let's be hyper generous. 300,000. What is the user base of Final Cut Pro? 40, 50, 60 million? Math that one out. That's why. And you can't tell us that because I'm professional and I do this and blah. But math it out. Like if you're the business person, not the user that don't have what they want, if you're put yourself in their shoes. Like, do you really want to go and make some changes? And it's really like 100,000. I was being super cordial and giving them 300,000. It's not. That's a rounding error in the grand scheme of things. It's a rounding error. That's the problem. Nobody wants to hear that. There you go. See, now Jim's talking about it. 2 Cherokees and 2 Escalades down to 2 Scion XBs. Lunchbox, that's what the XB stands for. And the 350 van. Van life, I miss the van life. The van life is the bomb. Yeah. So Matt, you understand. And I get it. Like all of us, we're in frustration because we're working. And we're like, man, I say it all the time about the audio side. Because I understand audio really, really well, like I wish it just did audio better. And it would be the perfect thing. But do I need it to do that? Nah. Why? Because I can just go to Logic and do it just as quick and then bring it right back. Is it as painless a round trip as Audition and Premiere? No. But here's the other thing that's dope. Because it's not built in, half the time if I got to bless something in audio, I'll bless it in Audition because to me, don't tell nobody I said this. Audition is better than Logic for what I do and the way I work. Not for everybody, but for me, Audition is better audio program. Especially for quick and dirty fixes of problems, Audition does a much better job than Logic. If it was baked in the way Audition is baked in Premiere, it'd be more of a pain in the butt. So as much as I wish the audio features were there, it's not really there. And then everybody's like, oh, well, when I do the voice isolation, it sounds funny. Yes, it sounds funny because it's doing some crazy ass machine learning fixing of the audio. And when you start flipping waves, you get random digital noises. It's like, it's just science, people. It's not like, oh, Apple did it to piss you off or to not make it flawless. It's supposed to be there as an emergency. It's not supposed to be there to fix something that you should have recorded right in the first damn place. But nobody wants to hear that. So let me take a catastrophic. Okay, I know what it is. Let's put it this way. Voice isolation is a fire engine. In most cases, it will put out the fire and it will minimize the damage mitigation, but it doesn't make matches bulletproof or fireproof. That's not what the voice isolation is for. Voice isolation is like a defibrillator. It's just enough to get you back in the mix, and you're just going to have to deal with the bad audio. Before, you had to completely scrap it. Now you can let it go and just take the dirty. And for what most people are doing on YouTube, their bigger user base, it's perfect. But for us professionals who are, editing a commercial and we recorded it wrong, or our sound man didn't do their thing, or the wind was not cooperating, there's no magic fixes for that. Up until now, what we always did was reshoot it. So they give you a lifeline that can bring back probably 60% of your headaches, and we complain about it. We're a bunch of ungrateful. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying. I think you covered that yesterday, man. I think you said, yeah, people should be grateful for what it does do. Yeah, there you go. Silverado for the logs, SUV for the dogs. Yeah, that's super funny. Funny. Um, Me a lot. Because of the CNC. Like I'm always moving plywood on a regular basis. Uh, I don't ATEM nothing. I can't stand ATEMs. I think they're the dumbest invention in the planet. But that's because I'm an ECAM user. We don't need ATEMs. We have multicam. Just part of life. That's life. That's what people say. Here, you want to see my ATEM? I need to plug in one more camera to make it make more sense because right now it won't really make sense. Let me grab the cable. And I don't want to unroll one of my pretty ones, but I guess I got to. I know you guys are saying, "Oh man, this guy is like full of opinions." Yeah, but I'm trying to think of things from a logic perspective. Um, I'm not very, I'm not very about people's feelings because I understand their feelings, but feelings in business, the minute you start having feelings in business, you fail. So those two things should be highly removed away from each other. And I know that my film and video community is very much into their feelings because they want it to be easier for them so they can, charge customers more. I get it. Like I fully understand. It makes sense. But do it though. All right, let's see. Did you catch? This battery might be too dead for this. Come on, Maggie. If that doesn't work, I'll pop on the phone real quick. Let me see what y'all are saying. Yeah, it's a USB C camera anyway. It's a Link 360, also made by Insta360. But yeah, it's basically just a USB C cable. Yep, it's too dead. It's too dead. Let me do a phone. The phone will make more sense. NDI. Are you gonna bite? Are you gonna bite? Nope. I'll show you this in a second. This will make all the sense in the world. Are you on the right Wi-Fi? All right. So there's the cable. Yay! Oh, I wanted. This would be a good time if you guys got questions about me switching up my audio platforms. I just went. Hey, Matt, I'm curious. What are you using for your stock stuff? I have Storyblocks, but I just added our grid art list to the mix because I'm going to get rid of Envato Elements because I'm so pissed off at Envato Elements because of their stupid audio jungle. Audio jungle. That's getting on my nerves now. So I'm getting rid of that mess and just going over to do it the different way. All right. Will you catch? There you go. All right. So now you're going to see what I mean. So this is just iPhone. Of course, it's going to be goofball. I'm going to leave it like this for now. Um, but if I come over in here and I go to, now I'll show you. Let me go to live demo mode since I have my hand full. All right, Matt, here you go. Here's our ATEM right here. This is the entire ATEM. So I can put like as many as you got. Like I've had this guy up to like I don't know 6 or 7, but here's my Camlink 4K, my Insta360 Link, my iPhone, and my Camlink 4K zoomed in pan to a different shot. Right. So if I come over here and go to camera D, and then move this out of the way, go to zoom and pan and pull it like this, or better yet, switch it to black and white, right? And then when I go to my switcher, I don't need an interview right now. When I go to my switcher and I bless it up like this, like who needs an ATEM? Ecamm is an ATEM and even better. So I got all my camera switching right here, and I can just use 1, 2, 3, 4 on the keyboard. Oh wait, not 4. I didn't assign it to 4. But yeah, so we don't use ATEMs because Ecamm make ATEM useless. The money you spend on the ATEM is 2 years worth of Ecamm. And we record ISO video at 4K. Actually, I take that back. We record ISO video at 1080/60, but once the computer gets faster, we'll record it at 4K. That's the reason why I hate ATEMs is because they don't do 4K. It's really silly not to have 4K in 2023. Oh, there you go. IBEW. That was another one. Boom. Either the computer or the dock. What's the question? What is? Oh, you're talking about the plug. Got it. You don't see. I can do it faster. No, I don't know about faster. The reason why you see this is one of those good ones. The reason why you wouldn't want to put that in an application like Final Cut is sometimes the dead space is part of the program. Recut is there for podcasters, but from a cinematic or documentarian level thing, that dead space is part of the deal. It's part of the filling. So you don't want to take that out, right? Yeah. So I use Descript instead of Recut. Descript's way more awesome. And I still don't tell it to pull out my cuts. I cut that joint in I just cut it in Final Cut using range and delete like super quick. I've seen Hindenburg journalists. Yeah, boom. I'm really, really. The script just got it right now, but I've seen journalists. Journalists is pretty cool. Yes, Matt. I'm telling you, dude. Once you get that M2 Mini, that ATEM would be ghost. Just ghost. 100%. Even when Pro Tools was a thing, I used to work on what they call a Sonic Solutions, which was way amazing thing. But yeah, I'm not a fan of Pro Tools. I never liked the way it looks. Mm, headphones. What are they? Okay, so DocRock.live/IEMs. These are my inner monitors. I got pairs for days, and these are for these are from Rode. Rather than mess those up, let me just grab the other set. I'm telling you, the best thing you do, I know Matt got one now. You need a Husky. Just get a Husky. Mine's a Milwaukee, but you got to get one in your office, bro. It makes life so much easier. Open the drawer and grab stuff. Anyway, these are from Rode, and what they are is these are identity bands so that you know which microphone belongs to which. So it's supposed to fit on the end of an XLR cable, like such. What I did was took the extra because the SM7B has like a long little piece right here. So I just took the extra ones and put them here. And so what you're supposed to do is match these colors with the buttons on the Rodecaster Pro so you know which mic is which mic. But what I did was I put the extra ones on there so I can have the whole Pride thing to support my moderator. So that's what I did it for. I just turned it into a Pride band. It's semi-useless, but it's kind of dope at the same time. Now that I dug them out, let me just go ahead and add the other two. call it a day. Oh, it won't fit. Damn. But yeah, that's it. So that's what I did. I just used the extra ones for this purpose. But yeah, they're supposed to just snap onto XLR cables so that when you set your Rodecaster Pro up, if you're have it across the room and somebody else is running the show for you, they can identify which person is using which microphone really, really quickly. You can also use it to make 1970s room divider that we normally made out of beer. Oh, this is a good conversation, JFK, and we're gonna tackle this. We're gonna tackle this in a second. Okay, yeah. So I got story blocks. USB-C versus Lightning on iPhone. I could care less. They're cables. Cables is cheap. I don't know why people like to turn. See, Matt would tell you, I come from tech journalism, so I hate the modern tech journalists that make fires out of farts. Like, who gives a crap? It's a freaking cable. Those cables do exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing. So it doesn't matter. If you had to take one and hang a device off of it and hope the device didn't fall, Lightning's stronger in that particular thing. Lightning does a much better job of picking your phone up like this by the cable, and you shouldn't do it ever. So that's the only advantage, though. Other than that, they do the exact same thing. One thing Lightning does that no one ever talks about: Lightning can read the device and reassign all 16 pins on the fly. There's a chip in the phone and a chip in the cable, which is why it works so well. And they communicate and they go, I need you to move the ground pin to 7. The ground pin moves to 7. USB-C doesn't have that kind of brains. So in a way, Lightning is a better cable, but all the whiny bitches in the EU wanted to be USB-C. Frick, I'll take it. It doesn't matter. It's a non-starter. It will take some things away, but yeah, boom. Seeing the whale, nice. Anyway, so yeah, it's a really good conversation. That's super funny. No, I think they're going to remake the Ghost. I think this year the Ghost will be a whole different ball of wax. That's a good question. But I think they're going to make a new thing. I don't think they need to chase after what DJI is doing. Yeah, I like both of them, but I don't think they need to chase the DJI. I think the manufacturers should stand proud in their lane and keep running. The top is Whiskey. Yes, it is. This is so true, Kevin. Oh, that's so true. The XLR cables are Lynx, Linx. I will show you. I got them in my thing. I think they're going to go cordless and portless. This is another reason why. Good call, Kevin. To what Matt says, I think that the cable to go away in general is coming, and it's why they didn't put so much effort into just switching to USB-C. I think they've always wanted it to be Lightning for as long as possible because they're going to get rid of it altogether. And if Qi 2 is as promising as it looks, then it will go away altogether. But man, the tech world, they make these non-starter arguments about the dumbest crap, and it blows my mind. Was teasing yesterday on Matt's channel. This one drives me crazy. Hold on, I'm gonna get the actual prop because this one drives me crazy to the nth degree. This is not the actual prop. I lied because I don't have it. It's upstairs. But you know how people say, like, the dumbest part about this mouse is this? I can't even do it. Like, this is dumb because you can't use the mouse while it's charging. Let me give you the non-starter about that ignorant fucking conversation, and I will fight people over this one. If you plug it in for 60 seconds, it will give you 2 to 4 hours worth of charge. So, if you literally take a freaking iPhone cable and plug it into the bottom, stand up, jump down, turn around, scratch your ass, and sit back down, you will already have an additional 2 to 4 hours of use. Let's say you plugged it in and went to the water cooler or went to the bathroom and you plugged it in for 2 minutes. If you plug it in for 2 minutes, 120 seconds, when you come back, it has 6 to 8 hours of use. Okay, from zero to absolutely full takes 2 hours. If you plug it in for 2 hours, you get 6 to 8 weeks of use. How do you not set a calendar reminder that every other Thursday when you leave the office, you plug it in? Or actually, when you go to lunch, you plug it in. Or when you have a Zoom meeting, you plug it in. Or you forgot to plug it in and you go, Kevin, hey, can you go to my desk and plug the mouse in real quick? All right, bet. And then by the time you come back from the Piggly Wiggly or Subway or Sally's Soup Kitchen, it's charged. And it's charged until second quarter. So stop being a bitch and remember to plug in your mouse. I hate that argument. It's so silly. It's so dumb. And it's because if Apple wasn't the top of the food chain, it would be a non-starter. People spend so much time focusing on trying to find a way to knock the top dog off, that they just come up with dumb arguments. It's really silly. It's really, really silly. And the tech industry doesn't help the muggles because they don't explain to the muggles why it was a non-starter. The person who started that got famous over it. Oh, I am hardcore Marvel fan all day. And yes, absolutely. As soon as possible. As soon as it becomes available, I'm in there like swimwear. But yeah, it's super funny. I always thought that one was just such an idiotic argument. Anyway, I need to go back to JFK's comment. JFK brought up this thing about like subscriptions. And being in tech, as long as I've been in tech, the best thing to happen to tech, and I will fight people over this one too. The best thing that happened to tech has been subscriptions. Hands down. There we go. There we go. Let me start that. Literally, the absolute best thing that happened to tech since day one has been subscriptions. If you're old school, let's pick Photoshop user, Illustrator user, even Final Cut. Even though Apple got big enough that they don't need to do it anymore. If you're an old school tech user, you would go out and let's pick Photoshop. You spend $8.99 for Photoshop, and you had the same app for 3 years. When it released, something changes because hard drives got faster, or cameras got quicker, or we went from Wi-Fi 5 to Wi-Fi 6. Something happened in the tech space that made computers altogether faster. But you're on a 3-year to 4-year, sometimes 5-year development cycle because you sold the program for $900 in 2023. You made $20 million in sales. You have that $20 million after you pay everybody, you're down to like $8 million. You got $8 million in research and development budget to generate the features for the next version. Now, you do subscription model. You still make the same amount on that original 20 million amount of people that would buy it, but it's been amortized over the same 5 years. I'll use 3 years because it's easier thought. So it's amortized over that. Let's pick 4. I'm going to pick 4 because it's easy. The math is faster. So now you're going to amortize that over a 4-year period. But because it's not $8.99, because it's $60 a month, a bunch of people that could never save enough money to get to that $8.99 just start using it. Oh, did I mention that 20 million that you sold really should have been like 600 million, but 80% of the population stole your app because they couldn't afford $8.99. But at $60, the 4 days it takes to download all the parts and go through the spam servers and then devirus your machine and go through all the crap from people stealing your app, that's all out the window now. So yes, there are people that are still stealing the app, but it goes from that 80% down to like 30%. So you gained 50% more users than you already had because the barrier to entry is here. Which one has worked out better? Look at Photoshop right now and the suite of things that comes with it, right? In comparison to what it was back in the day, look at the suite of things that comes with Creative Cloud now for that same $60. And actually, Photoshop is only $10 a month. If you really want to be silly about it, Photoshop is $10 a month. That's $120 a year as opposed to $8.99 for a 3-year cycle. I don't know where your math comes from, but in my math, 120 plus 120 plus 120 equals 360. That makes the app over 47% cheaper than buying it at $8.99 on a 3-year cycle with a $250 upgrade whenever upgrades came out. So all of the people that bitch about subscriptions, they don't understand stuff and they don't code shit. If you want to run a business right now and you want to get absolutely paid, pick up subscription model, fam. If you don't believe me, ask Netflix, Amazon, Birchbox, HelloFresh, Me Undies. Like all of the baller ass companies right now are all subscription based. So y'all thinking about it from the wrong side of the coin, bro. You're literally thinking about it from the wrong side of the coin. Like you should turn your business into subscription based. It is the answer. It is the answer. It's funny, but so many people go to that because again, it's an easy conversation because so many people bitch about it without thinking it all the way through. It's easy to get sucked into that mindset, but trust you me, it's way better too. Look at all of the stuff that comes with Photoshop now. Like this is insanity. Like all of this stuff is in here. So you're not just getting your Photoshop swag on anymore. You're getting Photoshop, InDesign, Experience Designer, Lightroom, Premiere Pro, Premiere Rush, After Effects, Bridge, After Effects Classic, Lightroom Classic, Arrow, Dreamweaver, Animate, Character Animator, Dimension, Media Encoder, InCopy, and then, of course, the development tool stuff down here in the bottom if you need it. And not to mention Express, and stock if you got it. This is way better. Anybody that's in the creative space will tell you the only people that was really mad about subscriptions were the people who were cheating in the first place. People who buying the app, they got it immediately. I will say this, I did a stream about it. I got hate mail. I got those kind of YouTube comments that people delete over it. People like, oh, you must work for Adobe. No, I didn't take that job. I was dumb. I didn't take it when I should have taken it. But I ended up at Apple, so that's better. But yeah, it's really funny. Like the only people that were legit pissed off were the people who were already stealing the app in the first place. So tell them to shut up. Especially right? Like we get a Lightroom update every 2 months. Like it's glorious. Before, man, Lightroom was like 6 years between updates. From the time the first one came out until the update came out, I think it was 5 or 6 years. Now we get an update every couple of months. Fuji just dropped out a brand new camera. They add a brand new Fuji RAW. We get a Fuji RAW update next week. Like you don't gotta wait, and you couldn't do that before. Yes, the trick is definitely choosing annual whenever possible. That is definitely 100% true. It does make life a little bit better. Yes, Kevin's correct. Subscriptions keeps you up to date. Oh, see, Gretchen just said what I said. There you go. What's up, E? Happy New Year, bro. Thank you, right? Dude, we all did it. Dude, Quark Express, bro. You remember that? Yo, that was $12.99. That first copy of Quark Express that we bought for my dad bought for June and I, yo, that joint was $12.99. It was crazy. I lived in Quark. Man, I forgot, Rich, you said you're a Quark guy. Me and June, we were like Quark experts. Like, I loved that program. Then they had to go and lose out to freaking InDesign. InDesign is hot trash compared to Quark. Quark was life. People who do not use software regularly complain about sub price. Well, that's another problem. Or you know what it is, Kevin? They subscribe to stuff and then they don't use it, and they feel like, oh, subs are a waste of money. But that's because you're not using it. If you subscribe to stuff and you use it on a regular basis, then you ain't thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? You ain't thinking about it. I probably wouldn't subscribe to Discovery ID if it wasn't 15 bulls. But I got it because of Curiosity Stream. Uh, Jumping off the network so we can use it on two machines. Oh, dude, remember? Because we had Apple Talk, you had to unplug the cable. Anyway, Matt asked the question a minute ago. I forgot about it. Let me come back. Matt said, what was my first computer? It was a Trash 80, Tandy TRS 80 color computer. So, yeah, it was pretty good. It was super good. Rob just asked a question in Discord about Lightroom. Yeah, super funny. Super funny. Let me see. Did this sucker finally bite yet? Did it bite yet? Boom. Man, you are not doing what I asked you to do. Are you going to catch? Oh, I know why I didn't catch. Doc, you ding dong. Man, this is super funny. Yeah, Quark Express was life, bro. I love that program. But funny going back to what we're talking about earlier with the old the people in the video and film industry. It was the same thing in desktop publishing. Once it got to the point where you could buy an Apple Writer 2, or back then it was to me, I think it was the HP4 was that printer that made it like affordable so that everybody and their mama could just go out and buy any old printer, right? Was the HP4. I think it was called the HP LP4. And once that printer came out, it made desktop publishing accessible to like the planet. Try something. All right, that's better. All right, so now here you go, Matt. Now I can show Matt what I was trying to show him. Boom, 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 boom. So this is better. Dang it, where you at? There it is. So now here's my camera switcher. And what I also like about this camera switcher is you can put it in like blind button mode. So yeah, so now I got this cam link, right? And then if I go to all of my sources, you can see them just as raw sources. But over here, I could take the cam link. I have it assigned to camera A. I could take the overhead, what's up, Emma, and have it assigned to camera B. I take the 1RS, which is just pulling this little side action, and now that's assigned to camera C. And then I got the 4K cam link again, but just with like a different look assigned to camera D, right? And then so now this is why I don't need an ATEM, because I can do all of this. You can pull the switches, right? Now the other thing that's pretty cool, which you can't do in an ATEM, which you can do in Ecamm, is for a program like Ecamm or OBS, it's going to see the ATEM as one single device, right? However, if I do one of these numbers, get rid of this, I can make this camera be whatever I want, right? So I can take this one right here, hold down the option key, and then, this will be another person, but I can put this one on camera B, right? And then I could pull up the instructions, you know, that we're trying to show off. Like we're trying to give somebody instructions on how to do something. So I could put this here, right? And then move this crap out of the way. And then put this here. You know what I'm saying? Where you can't do that in the ATEM because you can only see one source and replace it sort of in and out. Bro, oh my God, Mike, you just brought up that fun sauce. Man, I love Deluxe Paint. Like Deluxe Paint was the bomb. Remember it had the King Tut on like the front cover? Like that was legit. Anyway, going back to what I was doing, so I can pull this baby out, line it up over here, and then go to camera C. And then I can put this one up here, line it up, throw it on camera D. That so with the ATEM in individual sources, but like in a screen, you can't show all four cameras simultaneously because your programs, your Ecamm, your Restreams, your whatever, they're going to see the ATEM as one camera. So Ecamm is better. There you go. I just did it. I did it. Now let's get rid of this shit. But Jang. Crisscross applesauce. That's another one. I'm glad you said that because that's what I was always trying to explain to people. To me, it's not that we're buying subscriptions, our clients are buying subscriptions. If you buying it for yourself, then yeah, I can see that could be a problem. But you just put that as cost of business. It's no different. You're renting the software the same way you rent the office space, or you rent, you know, the the backhoe or the dump truck or whatever you into. That's 100% true. Actually, I take that back. I forgot about that, Rob. I did have a Sinclair and a VIC 20 and a C64. That's true. I had all of those. Super funny. Yeah, that Laser Rider was super cheap. Laser Rider 2. This Laser Rider was a big bad boy, though. Ooh, Panasonic. Dang, he went back there. Yep. You had to have PostScript compatible fonts, PostScript compatible, like everything. Dude, that's where we got the EPS file. Um, hey, man don't know about these things. Let's show him. By the way, Matt, just so you know, full disclosure in case no one told you, I work at Ecamm. So, yeah. Um, I don't want nobody to say, oh, you're just shilling for Ecamm. Yeah, I shill for Ecamm. They pay me. There you go. Watch this noise. Boom, boom. Look at that. See, I got my camera A, camera B. If I have guests, I can record a show with like 10 guests and get a different isolated feed. You can't see that. Let me embiggen it. So this allows me to get isolated feed for each one of them. I can decide if I want to apply the effects or not apply the effects. And then so yeah, I can get isolations for cameras. I can get for various stuff. So one of the pro tips, what I was talking about earlier today, was if you're shooting something for say Amazon, you're creating Amazon video, or you're creating say tutorials where you need to do something hands-on for my craft type people in the building, you switching between this and this is fine. But even if you forget the switch, because we're recording everything, you get the full track of the overhead camera. You can apply it later even if you mucked up the switching in the middle of recording. So it does make life a heck of a lot easier. You get a track with the cuts baked in, but you also get the isolated tracks for each individual camera. So your master movie will have all your cuts, but you also get the raw naked tracks for all the individual cameras and mics. So yeah, we run things up in this piece. All right, family. I think we did enough waxing rhapsodically for today. Sorry today we had to go into like super chill mode, but I've been up since 2 4:30 a.m. So that's why I'm like, today we're just gonna kick it. There'll be no yelling, no screaming. So yeah. Uh, yes, you can. You can record your webcam and face view and your desktop separately. Do it on a regular basis. We did 10 plus me, so 11. I don't even know what I did with the screenshot, but we did it like a couple weeks ago. I was showing a demo to one of our higher end clients who is a total secret, and I wish I could tell everybody because then people wouldn't be out here flexing their StreamYard if I told them the person that we were doing stuff for. Um, but yeah, I did a stream and it had me, Keely, Rich, uh, Andy. Oh God, you go look in the beta group, Kevin. You'll see it, bro. Like we did a stream with 11 of us. Daniel Chi was up in there. Yo, it was crazy. And I got an ISO for every swinging Johnson in there. There was an ISO for every swinging Johnson in there. It was so dope. It was so dope. When our clients saw that, they name out shit a brick. Oh yeah, Rob. Thank you, Rob. Happy birthday again. Yeah, they name out lost it. They was like, "What? You could do that many people?" And I was like, "Yes, sir." ECAM people. You just don't even know. It's super dope. It is super dope. It was one of the coolest things. So yeah, I love the fact that we can do that. There you go. Now you know. It's a thing. They look at their subscription number on the board, right? And most of them have a something like a DAC board. You have a tote that's available, so they can look at the board and they say, okay, next month we have 10 million people paying $60 a month. You know what I'm saying? So they know that next month, if they needed to do something, they're going to get an influx of $600 million. It's like you just know. So you know what to do. You don't have to sit around and think, oh, if I spend this, like, when am I going to get to do that or make these moves? So, yeah, they just move quicker like that. You know what I'm saying? You're late, Padawan. I'm fitting to bounce. It's good to see you, though. Let me give you guys one last thing before I hit the street. I was telling y'all, I was making some moving around in here the other day. And let me go back to this and then do one of these. Boom. I just recently decided that I was going to um, go and switch my subscription up. Right? What? I'm not trying to do that. I was trying to do this. I'm going to switch it up because I wanted to get rid of the Envato Elements one because I wasn't really using it, and I wasn't using it because of the stupid Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle, Audio Jungle. It was driving me crazy. So I went looking. I was talking to Tom, and Tom said he uses Artlist. And Sammy, I'm glad you're here because I brought this up the other day, and it made me laugh. But I was in Japan and was watching this random nondescript blogger, and in the middle of her thing, she played something, and she's shopping, and like City of Mine came on, and I was like, man, if Sammy heard this girl using our song out of context, he would flip a lid. So it kind of let me know Epidemic is so dope, and they've gotten so big, so many people have it that you do start to hear like songs from your favorite streams. Like I hear some other person playing a Dina song. I'm like, that's not right. That's just not right. So I was like, maybe I'm gonna do Artlist just for the simple reason that, dang it, I switched from it. For the simple reason that I'm gonna hear stuff that not everybody is having it. No, actually, I wasn't watching Charla. Um, um, I like Chris, but now that he's dating Charlotte, I have a hard time watching it. She's cool, but I have a hard time listening to her sometimes. She just, I don't know, giggles too much. Anyway, um, so what I found there, the music in here is amazing. But yes, Sammy asked the question. Yes, they have footage now. So What? Oh, you heard it on Charisma? Charisma? Oh my God, that's funny. So yeah, it just seems out of place. So I'm like, let me try something else. And they got really good footage in here. And what I was going to show Matt, but I didn't show Matt, is they do a better job of organizing things. So you can go in, pick the theme of your video. Let's say we want to rock food and drink. Um, it Paul, it's docrock.live/artlist. Please, onegaishimasu. Anyway, so you can come in here and you can see things sort of in categories, but they also put stuff in sets, right? So if you come over here and you click on view story, like it actually organize everything in a manner where the if I was doing an analogy for a class, and in that analogy we were talking about, like, how to get new users the same way you would meet someone in the bar, like I could use all of these clips because their story is already there. So I think it's really dope how they organize things in these little stories, right? So if I wanted to talk about, Dina's backyard, I could go in here, and if there's a whole story around it, it's like, you guys don't know this, but in Dina's backyard, like the bison just roll up to the back fence. This is Wyoming, by the way. Paul just edited my links file. That's that noise you heard. Anyway, so I like the fact that they organize the clips in the manner. None of the other stock footage companies do this. So yes, Sammy, they do have stock footage, but I mostly did it because of the music. They got like a very, like a different, like interesting take on the way they do music. But I love the fact that they organize their clips. It makes it so much easier to find what you're looking for. So, um, and like I said the other day, oh, here's the other thing that they got similar to Envato. If you need some, you know, plugins or whatever, they got plugins. Uh, they got this one is Final Cut related. Right now, I didn't find an easy way to sort based off of Final Cut, so you got to look for it. But I'm sure I will send them a message and tell them, hey, sort this bad boy. So if you need some plugins or whatever, they got that mess too. But yeah, it wasn't that bad. It's kind of worth the look. They even have their own custom editor and whatnot. I may not need that. But I've been just really tripping out on the way they do their music. It's a little different. It's just something extra to look at. And again, you don't have to have both. I think it's perfectly fine to do like 6 months of Epidemic and then switch and go do 6 months of Artlist and then switch, go do 6 months of Storyblock and then switch. So that way it's just fresh to you, because when you hear new songs, see new video clips, whatever, it might spark something in your brain. So anyway, that's the rules. I just put it there because boom. I thought it would be worth a look. I started messing with Artlist and I like it. I'm keeping Storyblocks and I'm keeping Epidemic because I can. I know some people ain't gonna be able to swing that, but I'm pretty impressed by Artlist so far. I see different stuff. It gives me a different level of inspiration. Anyway, and just to show you, here's something crazy I made messing with it the other day. So that's just like, take a stock footage and then put a quote on it and then post it. It's so simple. So simple. And so those of you guys who are looking at making YouTube shorts, you want a shortcut? Go get Artlist and then motivational quotes and play the climbing music. Tin, 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 tin. I think it was this one. Yeah. Um, I Epidemic. One of the things I will always say about Epidemic is what make Epidemic absolutely fanglorious is their licensing is borderline bulletproof. Their licensing is super bulletproof. So I absolutely love Epidemic for that particular reason. But you know what? Let me see. Does it show a number? Hey, let me see that. It does. Give me 1 second. Let me do something. I thought this was super cool. Let me do this, and then let me do this. And can I get a what? There we go. And I'm just screenshot this. Then it'll make sense. Hold on. Boom. I like this. They give you a freaking physical license. So you can go to town. You can go to town. And like Epidemic, they will not. Once you stop having that thing, it won't go away. Yeah, Epidemic, dude, Epidemic Pro. Yes, you're reading it right, Rich. You are reading it right. Because doing Epidemic Pro, which is $45 a month too, I believe, you have to clear every freaking song. You gotta go clear every song. I love Epidemic, but really, fam, clearing every song is irritating. Oh my god, that is so irritating. And so you get strikes and you got to go clear it, and then it just takes too much time. So yeah, like with Max, you get here. Let me go incognito for a second. Let's do it this way. All right, so go back to this. So here it is. If you go into the pricing, boom. Depending on what you need, you can do this, but that's only those two. I went for the Max because the Max actually gives you the music, the footage, video templates, the editing apps, the whole 9 yards, right? I ended up doing this because it comes with raw and log footage. Hey, what the heck are you clicking, dude? There you go. I ended up doing this because uh, Rich, I didn't think nobody caught that. Thank you, Rich. Anyway, I do use log footage and I do use raw footage, so it was worth it to me. But most of you guys won't need to do that. You could just do like the Max Social, and yeah, it's cool. Here's the other thing: it covers everything from personal and commercial use. So in Rich's case, you want to do the commercial use, but for some of the rest of you guys, you only need the social channels one. So when you think about this in comparison to say like Envato Elements for creators straight up, it's actually better. Elements does give you more access to like some graphic templates and some things like that if you're making PowerPoint presentations, which I can't stand. But you know, in a way, I think it's dope. And I understand why Tom kept saying it, and I could like whatever Tom. I got yeah, there you go. I was like, whatever, Tom. I got Epidemic. Me not need that. But yeah, Epidemic is really good. I really like their music. I'm not gonna say anything bad about them. I think they're crazy, but coming from like Rich, where you got multiple channels, it's a pain in the butt. It's an absolute pain in the butt. So this has been uh, so far so good. So far, this has been glorious. I might tell you something different in 5 months. Who knows? So far, it's been glorious. But anyway, it's worth the look. It's worth the look if you're into. Yes, commercial use is big time at that price point. Kevin, you're learning things, Kevin. All right, family. It's been a long day. It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you. I'm going to go pop over to the after show section of the Discord. And if you haven't already joined the Discord, pop in there. Join Discord. And then I'll see y'all soon. It's coming. interview class. Don't forget your homework. Good to see you guys. It's been great. Oh yeah, by the way, Manchester is red. I just had to throw that out there. Peace out. Appreciate y'all. A-Town Stomp.
City of mine, how I love the city of mine. It never gets me down.